Have you ever wondered what truly caused the dodo bird, a large, flightless bird, to disappear completely from the earth? Forget the old tales about them being slow and foolish. The truth behind their extinction is far more intriguing and unexpected than you might think. 140 million years ago, a piece of land broke away from Africa, creating the isolated island of Mauritius. This was the kingdom of the dodo bird, a lush green paradise with no natural predators. But what really happened? How did a once thriving bird species get wiped out completely within just a few decades of human arrival? Join me as we explore this mystery in today's video. But before we start, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any exciting stories. In the animal world, few creatures evoke as much curiosity and regret as the dodo bird. They had a distinctive and easily recognizable appearance. Standing about 3 feet tall, which is 1 meter, and weighing around 44 pounds, or about 20 kilos, dodos looked unlike any other bird. Dodos couldn't fly. Their wings were too small to lift their large bodies. Their large curved beak was perfect for picking fruits and seeds. The dodo's tail was quite short and covered in fluffy feathers, giving them a comical appearance. Mauritius, an isolated island in the Indian Ocean, was their home. Before humans arrived, dodos lived in a tropical paradise full of fruits and seeds, facing no major predators. Dodos were known for their gentle nature and lack of fear towards humans. Without natural enemies, they didn't develop defensive mechanisms, making them easy targets for humans. During the breeding season, dodos had unique mating behaviors. Males would perform displays to attract females, showcasing their plumage and making distinctive calls. These displays could include dancing and showing off their large curved beaks, impressing females with their health and reproductive potential. Once a female chose a mate, they would begin mating. Mate selection and mating could occur multiple times during the breeding season to ensure high fertilization success rates. After successful mating, the female dodo would find a safe place to build a nest. Dodo nests were typically built on the ground in dense forests, using plenty of leaves and twigs to create a soft bedding for the eggs. Nesting sites were carefully chosen to avoid areas prone to invasion or extreme weather conditions. Dodos laid 1 or 2 eggs per clutch, reflecting a typical reproductive strategy for flightless island birds. Although the number of eggs was low, they were meticulously cared for to ensure the highest survival rates. Dodo eggs had hard shells to protect the embryos from external threats. Both parents took turns incubating the eggs, using their body heat to keep them warm throughout the incubation period. When the eggs hatched, dodo chicks emerged with soft down feathers and immediately received devoted care from both parents. The chicks were fed by their parents, primarily on a diet of fruits and seeds. Dodo chicks grew quickly, and in their early life stages, they stayed close to the nest to avoid predation by invasive animals such as pigs, rats, and macaques. The arrival of humans and non-native animals posed significant challenges to the dodo's breeding process. Pigs and goats destroyed forest areas where dodos nested, while rats and macaques preyed on their eggs and chicks. These invasive species competed for food and created substantial pressure on the dodo's ability to raise and protect their young. We often hear that dodos were stupid, clumsy birds destined for extinction. But that's completely wrong. Let's start by looking at their history and understand their true intelligence. First, let's travel back over 20 million years. At this time, tropical pigeons from Southeast Asia began their adventurous journey across the Indian Ocean. Imagine these small birds, step by step, migrating across islands until they arrived at a remote archipelago east of Madagascar. Now picture a newly formed island, created by volcanic activity about 8 million years ago, where a new bird species began to emerge: the dodo. These birds evolved and adapted perfectly to an environment without natural predators. Without the need to fly to escape predators, Dodos saved energy by developing muscles suited for ground living. This wasn't a lack of adaptation, but rather an intelligent evolutionary step. One of the biggest misconceptions about dodos is their brain size. In reality, the dodo's brain size relative to its body was similar to that of pigeons, birds known for their learning ability and good memory. This indicates that dodos were not as unintelligent as people believed. So why do we have such a wrong perception of dodos? Partly due to literature and art from the 17th and 18th centuries. Inaccurate drawings and misleading descriptions made us believe that dodos were clumsy and foolish. But in reality, these drawings might have been inspired by how dodos looked during mating displays or in captivity, making them appear fatter and clumsier than they actually were. Moreover, dodos were misrepresented in some literary works, depicted as foolish birds, creating a false impression of this species in the public's eyes. The truth is that dodos were very well adapted to their environment. They survived through harsh conditions and major natural disasters. Their extinction wasn't due to a lack of intelligence, but rather the sudden onslaught of humans and the invasive species they brought. Dodos endured many extreme climate changes. About 4,300 years ago, one of the harshest challenges for dodos occurred: a mega drought lasting 150 years. During this time, fresh water became scarce, and lakes turned salty and dangerous. Can you imagine that? A bird species trapped on an island with very little fresh water to survive. But the dodos didn't give up. They developed survival mechanisms to endure this tough period. Let's explore how they managed to survive. Dodos likely sought out rare underground water sources and might have adjusted their diet to maximize the water content from fruits and seeds. This shows how intelligent and adaptable they were in dealing with harsh environments. Additionally, dodos had to cope with unusual climate changes, from prolonged droughts to sudden heavy rains. They developed special skills to find food and water in all weather conditions, and as a result, they survived through these tough times. However, in 1598, the arrival of Dutch sailors on Mauritius brought a real nightmare for the dodos. The Dutch came to Mauritius to exploit its resources and turn it into a stopover for their trade ships. But the more terrible aspect was the animals they brought along. Imagine living peacefully, then suddenly invaders brought pigs, goats, monkeys, and even rats. These animals not only competed for food, but also hunted dodo eggs and chicks. Picture this scene: goats and pigs foraging everywhere, eating up plants and fruits that dodos relied on. Monkeys, possibly pets of the Dutch, ran around and ate dodo eggs. Rats, small but highly destructive, caused significant harm to the dodo chick population. Moreover, the Dutch hunted dodos for food. Although hunting wasn't the main cause of their extinction, it quickly reduced their numbers. Within less than a century of the Dutch arrival, dodos disappeared completely. We cannot fathom the sudden and drastic changes faced by a bird species that had survived through millions of years of climate changes and natural disasters. Even sadder, at that time, people did not understand the concept of extinction. They didn't realize their actions were pushing a species to the brink of permanent disappearance. It wasn't until the 18th century that the concept of extinction became clear. By then, it was too late to save the dodo. Many people even thought dodos were mythical birds, existing only in fairy tales. The story of the dodo is a powerful reminder of the importance of protecting the environment and rare species. We need to learn from past mistakes to prevent other species from facing the same fate. If you enjoy fascinating stories and want to discover more intriguing mysteries, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you won't miss any videos from this channel.